Kanye West never just blurts things out without reason. When he speaks about his daughter North, it doesn't come from a random place. It comes from years of frustration, fear, and watching a pattern he believes is being repeated inside the Kardashian world. To him, this isn't only about an outfit, a dinner, or a hairstyle. It's about his daughter's childhood, her identity, and the empire he believes is shaping her future without his consent. The spark came in Rome. One dinner, one appearance, and suddenly the internet couldn't stop talking. 12-year-old North West walked beside her mother, Kim Kardashian, dressed in a corset-style top, long blue braids flowing past her shoulders, and heavy platform boots. To many fans, it looked like a playful fashion moment. To others, it felt unsettling. She looked less like a child out for pizza with her mom and more like a young starlet stepping onto a runway. Some laughed it off. Others defended Kim's choice to let her daughter express herself. But for Kanye, it was a breaking point. Online, his supporters echoed his concern. She's 12, let her be a kid. That outfit was just the trigger. What it represented, at least to Kanye, was much deeper. Kanye had been warning about this for years. Back in 2020, during one of his infamous Twitter storms, he made a chilling promise. "I put my life on God that North's mom would never do Playboy with her." Most parents wouldn't even imagine saying something like that, but Kanye wasn't speaking lightly. He had seen what happened with Kim, what happened with Kylie, and in his mind, none of it was accidental. He believed Kris Jenner, Kim's mother, was the architect behind it all, the one who pushed her daughters into highly sexualized images for fame and profit. Kim once admitted she didn't even want to pose for Playboy. She was nervous, uncomfortable, unsure. But Kris convinced her it was the opportunity of a lifetime, promising it would help launch her career. And it worked. The show exploded. The Kardashian brand was born. Yet Kim herself has since said she regrets it, and she would never want her daughter to follow that path. But to Kanye, words aren't enough. He believed Kris would do to North exactly what she did to Kim and Kylie. And that's why he's fought so hard to control his daughter's image, education, and future. He texted Kris directly, begging her not to involve North in that same cycle. When she privately asked him to stop mentioning her name because the stress was too much, he blasted the text publicly. Kanye doesn't do subtle. When he feels attacked, the world hears about it. Critics are quick to call Kanye a hypocrite, and to be fair, the receipts are there. People pull up photos of Kim in revealing outfits styled by none other than Kanye himself. Remember that latex wet look dress at the Met Gala? That was his idea. For years, he was the mastermind behind Kim's most talked about looks, many of which leaned into sex appeal and shock value. But something shifted around 2019. At another Met Gala, Kanye admitted he felt uncomfortable with Kim looking too sexy in public. Kim was furious. She reminded him he was the one who had built her into that confident woman who embraced fashion and sexuality. Now suddenly, he wanted to take it all back. What changed wasn't just his personal taste, it was his worldview. Kanye was diving deeper into religion, faith, and what he called family values. He wanted to protect his kids from the same machine he once helped power. That was when he started his own private school, Donda Academy, designed, in his words, to free his children from the system and raise them with values outside of Hollywood's spotlight. So when Kanye saw North in that corset and boots, it wasn't just about clothes. To him, it was a flashing red signal, a sign that the cycle was beginning again, that Kris Jenner's playbook was opening to the next chapter. For outsiders, it might seem like overreaction, but those who followed the Kardashians for years saw the same patterns Kanye pointed out. Carefully staged photo ops, styled looks, intentional camera angles, all of it designed not just for a night out, but for headlines, and that's exactly what happened. For many, it felt like déjà vu. First Kim, then Kylie, now North. The machine keeps running. This is where the argument gets messy. Kim insists she's simply letting North express herself. She's posted TikToks with her daughter, let her sing and dance on stage at Kanye shows, and admitted she wants her kids to have freedom. But critics argue freedom looks different when millions of eyes are watching. At 12, North is too young to fully understand how lasting the internet is. Every outfit, every hairstyle, every viral moment is archived forever. Childhood is supposed to be about mistakes and growth, not being branded for the world to consume. Kanye's critics say he's not really protecting her, he's controlling her. They believe he's using North as leverage in his ongoing war with Kim and Kris, and honestly, there's truth in that too. His outbursts often seem as much about fighting his ex-wife as they do about protecting his daughter. This contradiction is why the public struggles with Kanye's message. On one hand, he's right. The entertainment industry has chewed up countless young girls, shaping them into brands before they even understood who they were. Many child stars have the scars to prove it. Kanye's fear that his daughter might lose her childhood to fame isn't crazy. But on the other hand, Kanye himself has played the very game he now condemns. He dressed Kim in shocking looks. He directs his current wife, Bianca Censori, into outfits just as controversial: see-through bodysuits, barefoot street appearances, strange futuristic styling. These are not Bianca's creations, they're his. So when he says he wants to protect North from being sexualized, many roll their eyes, pointing out he's doing the same thing to his adult partners. That's what makes this conflict so difficult to parse. Kanye is both the builder and the destroyer of the machine. Kris Jenner has always known how to turn whispers into empires. Kim's scandal launched a brand. Kylie's image made her a billionaire. Every daughter has been turned into a product, with fashion, beauty, and drama fueling the machine. So when North walked into that restaurant in Rome, some people didn't see a kid having fun with fashion. They saw the next phase of a legacy being designed. And that's the heart of Kanye's fear, that his daughter is not just his child, but the next commodity in Kris Jenner's empire. The internet quickly divided. Supporters of Kanye argued that he was the only one brave enough to call out the obvious, that North is being molded into the same spotlight that consumed her mother and aunts. They praised him for trying to break the cycle. Others said he was being dramatic, even manipulative. To them, this wasn't about protecting North, but about humiliating Kim. They pointed out how often Kanye uses social media to air private family business. Instead of protecting North, they argued, he was dragging her into a war she never asked for. And then there were those who saw fault on both sides. They believed Kim was pushing too hard to make North part of her brand, but also that Kanye was too unstable to handle parenting decisions responsibly. For them, North was the real victim, caught in a tug-of-war between two powerful parents, each more concerned with their image than her well-being. North West didn't choose this life. She didn't ask for her every move to be dissected by millions. But from the moment she was born, cameras have followed her. Unlike her parents, she doesn't get the option of privacy. That's what makes this situation so tragic. Childhood is supposed to be a safe space, a time to experiment, play, and learn without the whole world watching. But for North, every stage of her development has already been turned into content, and the internet never forgets. No one knows how this story will end. Maybe North will rise above the chaos, find her own voice, and chart her own path. Maybe she'll follow in her mother's footsteps, willingly or not, and become another name shaped by Kris Jenner's empire. Or maybe she'll struggle under the weight of an identity she never chose. What's clear is that Kanye's fears are not going away. He will continue to speak loudly, dramatically, and often recklessly. Kim will continue to let her daughter express herself while keeping the Kardashian brand alive. And North will remain in the middle, trying to be a kid while the world debates her every move. One thing is certain, childhood should never be a battleground. Yet for North West, that's exactly what it has become.